Hi, I'm Patrick Perry about a news food poisoning. Okay, about the food poisoning, I'm gonna go first is a long time ago in 1997, I was to go to high school. I go to the cafeteria, I eat the chicken fingers. I have food poisoning on 12 o'clock p.m. Yeah, just the 2 o'clock p.m. My head is hurts. Now where I not feel so well. My head is hurt. 4 o'clock p.m. I not feel so good. I have throw up. I pick up the trash can. I was throw up. And next is I have to go to the bathroom. I have a diarrhea. I'll go to the bathroom to have the diarrhea. Only 4 times I'll use the bathroom because my body hurts very bad. I stay home about 4 days. And next is elementary school. Cafeteria got food poisoning. And then next is a high school cafeteria got the food poisoning. And next is church food poisoning. Subway got the food poisoning. Her name is Vanessa. She's a job coach. She eat the Subway sandwiches. She got food poisoning. She can have throwing up. Yeah, he take me to the drop-offs. He take me to drop-off is me, Cassandra and Daniel called the drop-offs. And next is Raising Cane's chicken fingers got food poisoning. And next is Outback Steakhouse got food poisoning. And next is Chipotle. Chipotle got the food poisoning. Yeah, a long time ago. His name Jose. He's a job coach. Yeah, he eat the Chipotle with the food poisoning. Jose, he's a job coach. He got throw up. And next is Dustin. Dustin, he go to the Chipotle. Chipotle got food poisoning. That's a Dustin. He's throw up. Yeah, he's throw up. As he called the list is Subway, Outback Steakhouse, chicken fingers, and Chipotle. I'd like to show you about the videos. The video is called food poisoning. Let me to show you that, yes.
Food poisoning is an illness that is caused by ingesting contaminated foods or beverages and affects millions of people every year. The symptoms of food poisoning range from mild to severe and can include nausea, vomiting, abdominal cramps, fever, and diarrhea. Treatment for food poisoning depends on the symptoms and results of a physical exam, as well as a medical history and laboratory tests. The first step in treating food poisoning is to identify the source of the contamination so that contamination can be prevented in the future. If an outbreak is suspected, public health officials should be contacted, and a sample of the contaminated food or beverage should be taken for testing. If a single person or family member is affected, the contaminated product should still be discarded if possible. Once the source of the contamination has been identified and eliminated, the main treatment for food poisoning is rest and drinking plenty of fluids. Dehydration is a common symptom of food poisoning, so it is important to drink plenty of water to replenish lost fluids and electrolytes. Oral rehydration solutions can be helpful as well. In mild cases of food poisoning, medications can be used to reduce symptoms. Antiemetic medications such as promethazine can be used to reduce nausea and vomiting. Pepto-Bismol is also an effective antiemetic that can be purchased over the counter. Antidiarrheal medications, such as loperamide, can be used to reduce diarrhea. If these medications are used, it is important to monitor for signs and symptoms that may indicate a more serious illness. In more severe cases of food poisoning, hospitalization and intravenous fluids may be necessary. Antibiotics may be prescribed if the cause of food poisoning is determined to be bacterial in origin. Antibiotics are only effective against bacterial infections and are not effective against viral or fungal infections. In addition to medical treatment, any other exposures to contaminated food should be reported and prevented. If food poisoning is caused by a restaurant or other food establishment, local health officials should be notified so that an investigation can be performed. Individuals who have been exposed to contaminated food or beverages should practice good hand hygiene and avoid sharing utensils or drink containers. Food poisoning can be treated effectively, and prevention is the key to reducing the chances of becoming ill. Contaminated food should always be disposed of, and proper food handling guidelines should be followed whenever possible. If food poisoning is suspected, contact a healthcare provider to determine the best course of treatment.
Food poisoning usually starts with feeling sick and really bad stomach cramps, with many going on to vomit or have diarrhea. And if you're really unlucky, you'll have it coming out of both ends. The most common causes of food poisoning are bacteria such as Salmonella and E. coli, or viruses, usually norovirus, also known as the winter vomiting bug. When struck down with diarrhea and vomiting, people often wonder if it's from something that they've eaten or not. And the truth is, we don't always know the answer to that question. And in fact, it doesn't often matter either, because whether the infection is from that dodgy sandwich you ate or from touching that bus handrail, the symptoms are pretty much the same, and the treatment is too. The best things to do are: try to rest until you feel better, and it is best to stay at home for 2 days after you've stopped vomiting or having diarrhea too, as you're likely to still be infectious. Drink plenty of fluids. If you're struggling to keep any fluids down, you are at risk of becoming dehydrated, so it is probably best to speak to a doctor if that's the case. You can start to eat food when you're feeling up to it. There's nothing specific that you must or must not eat, but you might find dry toast, crackers, or rice sit more comfortably at first. If you notice blood in your vomit or poo, have severe tummy pains, a high fever, or are struggling to eat or drink, and feel that things are just getting worse, it's a good idea to speak to a doctor. A digital appointment can be great in such cases, as you can speak to a doctor from home without running the risk that you'll have to make multiple toilet trips along the way or have to bring your sick bucket with you.
How to tell if you have food poisoning. You can get food poisoning by eating or drinking something contaminated with germs. You usually get ill within a few days, but sometimes it can take a few hours or as long as a few weeks. If you have food poisoning, you might feel sick, be sick, and have diarrhea, frequent loose or watery poo. You might also have stomach cramps, a fever, and feel generally unwell. For the majority of people, you can normally treat yourself or your child at home, and you'll usually get better within a week or so. However, young children, people aged 65 and over, and those whose immune systems are not working properly are more likely to become severely ill with food poisoning. These groups are more at risk of dehydration, which can be very serious. To get better, have plenty of rest and drink lots of fluids to stop you from getting dehydrated. It's also important that you stay home from work or school until you've not been sick or had diarrhea for at least 48 hours. If possible, do not prepare food for others during this time. For more tips on how to treat diarrhea at home, click here. You can reduce your chances of getting food poisoning by cooking or reheating food thoroughly, storing it correctly, such as in a freezer or fridge, not leaving it out for too long, washing your hands before preparing food and immediately after you have handled raw food, especially raw meat, disinfecting surfaces after you've prepared raw food, and not eating food that's past its use-by date. You will usually be fine to eat food that's past its best before date. If you think you have food poisoning and have any worries, visit 111.nhs.uk for people aged 5 and over, or call 111 for advice. Click the link to find out more information about food poisoning.
Well, I hope you like my videos. I hope you like it. Well, maybe that's it. Welcome to news.